off to episode 12 today. So it's not as exciting of an episode. So disclaimer first. It starts off with Madame Yoon's father kind of coming to pick up his daughter from Sam's house. And then there he notices that photo of the 7 guys and kind of asks Sam a little bit about like Dantan. He tries to make it not too obvious though, because he kind of asks about everybody and then he's like, oh, who's this guy, right? Then the next day, Madame Yoon kind of goes to Sam's office to thank him. And in the office, Sam mentions how his phone is like always out of storage and he's kind of pretty bad with technology, right? So Madame Yoon takes a quick look and thinks that someone actually put in some sort of app thing to take up some storage. And with this app thing, it can listen to the conversation that he has with others. And it's like an app that doesn't need a phone there presently to physically download. Like you can do it remotely. And if you even got a different phone, if you transferred your apps from your old phone to your new phone, right, this thing will also be transferred as well. So it's kind of some like next level hacker thing. Anyways, they decide to go to eat, and Madame Yoon will suggest a person to look into it. So like they're going down into the parking garage, and then Sam uses the excuse of going to the washroom, kind of just to go off to a side and kind of call Fei to warn him that potentially Dantat is the one who's using this remote app to listen to all their conversations. Now, Madame Yoon's waiting in the car, but then starts to notice it's taking a while, right? Like going to the washroom shouldn't take that long. So she leaves to look for Sam and sees that he's fainted in the hallway. Now Sam wakes up in the hospital and finds out that he fainted because he used the same drug that used to kill Tiger to sedate Sam. And in Sam's head, he's thinking that for sure it's Dantat, right? But he diverts Madame Yoon's train of thought to suggest that, you know what, it's a common drug that can be like that someone could purchase, and it's probably like not the same person who killed Tiger. It's probably someone he is dealing with because he works in accounting, a company that he's dealing with that's targeting him. Because if it was the same guy who targeted Tiger, why would they, kill Tiger and leave Sam not dead but leave him alive? Now, speaking of hospitals, we flip to another scene where Ayet's in the hospital and then Fei Jai's sister come to visit and they're officially together because it's so damn cute. He uses the same sign language that she used to say that, oh, I need you. Now, another scene is where Sam, Fei Jai, and Choi Seo go and visit Ayet. The first thing Fei Jai does is kind of put all their phones into the fridge because that's the only way that they know for sure no one's listening, right? Leave it in the fridge. Now, it's with a heavy heart that at this point, they decide to hatch out everything that happened 18 years ago. It's very evident that no one really wants to talk about it, but Sam's very persistent. Like, things have escalated to this point. We need to eventually just open up. Now, Ayet tells his side of the story, and we find out the reason that Ayet had blood all over him is that with the guy who died, that guy's last breath, he kind of went and grabbed Ayet. But Ayet wasn't the one who killed him. The only reason that Ayet took the blame was because he assumed, there was only 7 people at this location, including the guy that's murdered. I know I didn't do it. It's probably one of my brothers. And if that person didn't want to step out, I'm going to take the blame for him because we're all brothers. It's so cute. Although what they call it "義氣", right?
有咩用解釋？當日得我哋7條友，如果唔係我殺，就係你哋6條友是但一個。咁你哋其中一個殺咗唔敢認，咪我啃咗佢咯。大家兄弟，有乜所謂？
Now, Choi Soi's turn. He says, yes, you know what? He took the watch off the dead guy's wrist, but that's only because that watch originally belonged to him. Like, his girlfriend gave it to him, but the guy who got murdered threatened to expose their relationship if the watch wasn't given to him. Right? So now at this point, the 4 of them in the hospital, they clear each other's name. They're like, you know what? If all of us are good, and there's 2 of us that are dead, and there's 7 of us in total, 7 minus 4 minus 2, there's only 1 guy left. It's probably Dantat. And then, like, suspicion is definitely arisen with this guy, not only because he didn't show up, but because on the day of the murder, it turns out that he was actually supposed to take the 2 other girls home, right? But at the location where the guy was murdered, for some reason, Dantat appears again there as well, too. And they never actually really talk about it the day of, why he returned back. because it was just something that never brought up. That's not priority at this point. It was like, let's bury the body, right? Now, flipping back to Madame Yoon's place, Madame Yoon tells her mom that, her hand is fine. And her mom also finds out that when Madame Yoon thought her hand wasn't going to be fine, she actually went over to Sam's place. And this is where, like, Madame Yoon's mother face lights up. She's so happy. She's like, oh my god, you guys, like, are at this stage already. You know what? You should thank him, have him over to come for dinner. And so Sam does go over to eat dinner, and then, through questioning of the father, right, and suggestions made by the father, Sam has in his head that Dan Tat might actually be the guy who originally tipped off that the death that happened 18 years ago wasn't a suicide but a murder. And that's where it ends off. Oh, no.